everybody. Jennifer Roberts here, the Pod Queen. And I have guests with me today. Joining me today, we have Wes and Amanda Martin.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hello.
And they're part of the series I'm doing on love stories. So we're going to hear their story, how they met and how they got married and all that. And so, let's start with you guys. Ready?
Yes.
I'm going to ask really intrusive questions.
I love it. Bring it on.
That's great. So first of all, how did you guys meet?
We met in college, like, what, 1998?
January of
It was a long
1998.
time ago.
Microbiology
We were
class.
in the same class.
Microbiology. So you guys are like smarty pants.
No.
She
I
is. I was trying to
He
be.
cheated on me.
Yeah. It was that part of my life where I was doing school and didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Right.
But one thing I got out of school, met my wife.
Well, bonus.
Right.
That's what you need, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys meet in school.
He was the only guy, they have tables and you had to have partners, so
Right.
I was late. I was actually in a car accident on my way to school that
You're
day.
kidding.
No, I was late, and so I walk in the class and there's only one open spot and it's with him. So it's okay.
See, I never knew this whole time that it was because your car didn't work.
I was in an accident.
Seriously?
I really thought it was destiny in the Lord, so now.
What was destiny? The car didn't break. The car didn't work.
Okay. We'll just keep going.
Hi, Dwayne. Hi, Mr. Pod
It
Queen.
was destiny. Yes, Lord.
Keep going. Next question.
Okay. That is so funny. What was destiny?
It was.
Oh, that is hysterical.
So the Lord broke her car so we could meet.
Yeah. Ooh. Where does that fit into the
Yeah,
theology?
right.
So, first impression of Amanda when you saw her.
My first impression, now this is BC, we're in college, I'm doing the full-blown fraternity thing, don't
Yeah.
know anything.
Not
She
following
comes
Jesus
in, not
at all.
following the Lord at all. She comes in, has long blonde hair down to her bottom, and she has an eyebrow ring.
Yeah.
And she always kind of squinted her eyes like this, and so I actually thought when she came in that she was a stoner, and that she just smoked weed all the time.
Mom, I never touched this stuff.
And so at the
It looks
time,
like
I
it.
was the big party college guy, and so I was immediately attracted to that part of her. Plus, she was already just attractive. But her personality, is anybody that knows her, is you can become a man's best friend instantly.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were lab partners on that day, and it began just a
Yeah.
great friendship.
That's hysterical.
Well, and I was also a freshman in college, which came with a meal card. And you had so much to spend for the semester, and then if you don't spend it, you lose it. So he knew that. So I
I
bought him.
was the junior, so I had a little bit of knowledge about how the system worked.
Right.
And so we had a class, and we had an hour break, and we had another class together. So I bought him breakfast every morning.
So you literally were the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Literally.
That is hysterical.
Very true.
That's good, Wes. So you learned how to maneuver the system.
You know, I
You got
got
free food, got
5 meals a week. It was good.
That's hysterical. So then after you guys met, you became friends, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long until you started dating?
Well, we had an ungodly relationship for a while. She was in a serious relationship with another guy. I was in a serious relationship with another girl. And I'd say probably over the next year and a half, we didn't really quote-unquote date.
Right.
Hung out a lot. We became study friends. We connected all the time.
Right.
And then I think the turning point in our relationship was when we met the Lord.
Right.
About a year after we met, January of '99, we both have a separate visitation from the Lord
Around the same time.
around the same time.
That's
and that,
amazing.
And that's when our relationship took a more meaningful relationship
Yeah.
as far as deep friendship.
Right. So now you're in a relationship, you're believers, and this is the first time that you've been dating as a believer.
Mm-hmm. We
Right.
didn't really date.
Yeah, it was
Even
more
afterwards.
of just two, because we were in a really immoral culture in the mix of university.
Right. You're just doing whatever you're
she's
doing.
the party girl, I'm the party guy, and we get our two brains plucked from the fire. We didn't have anyone except each
So we
other.
just
Yeah.
hung out.
As far as following Jesus.
Right, right.
And so we did Bible studies 5 nights a week, hung out, and didn't really date. I guess, we weren't officially dating.
Right.
We were really going hard after the Lord and reading the Bible together.
That is crazy.
And we did that for about
John
6
relate.
months.
Remember in John?
Oh yeah, we read
John-
biographies and read the Bible and just, pledged to be holy and
That's
not cross the
crazy.
line. And in that moment, in that season, there was hardly any romance. It was very
It wasn't any.
discipling each other, brother and sister,
Yeah.
and helping each other really get through college without sinning.
Right. That's crazy. You know, just as an observer, because we're friends, you guys have a good friendship.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so talk about that. And
I think that's the best relationship there is. Like, if you are good friends before you fall in love with each other,
right.
it doesn't get any better than that. Because
Yeah.
you know that person for who they are, you know they're bad and they're good, and you still like them because you're friends. You like hanging out with them. In the bad times, in the boring times, in the great times, they're just fun to be around. So why not marry them?
That meant a lot to me.
Why not marry him? I like it.
But that meant a lot to me because I was such a bad sinner back in the day. And when we became friends, I wasn't trying to, impress her and trying to hide my real stuff and this.
Yeah,
we
she
were
knew
friends for
all
a
of
long
me.
time before we even got engaged.
And so then when we began to be romantic and pursue a relationship, I was so relieved because I knew that she was genuinely interested in me.
Yeah.
And not just that one guy.
That image.
All of me. Yeah.
That is cool. That's a foundation that you want.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
awesome. So now, how did you make the jump to? Well, I guess you just described that, but talk about getting engaged. Was it a tough decision, or it looks like a little
No,
story
it was
there?
awkward. We had the most awkward engagement I think I've ever heard.
Well, let's
You
hear
go.
it.
Because I married him.
Mr. Awkward.
Right.
No, you go.
Yeah, so we met the Lord. I met the Lord. We met the Lord in January of '99,
Yeah.
and then just stayed steady, hanging out with each other until summer. And I got invited to go on a mission trip.
Yeah.
And it was my first mission trip ever, and it was exciting. And it happened to be with his home church.
Right.
He was going, and a couple. I hear my daughter crying in the background.
We're raw and real, folks.
I'm good though. Okay, so probably a few months prior or before going, I really liked him. I mean, he was cute.
Yeah.
We were good friends, and then just
So much fun.
Yeah, and I felt like he knew so much about the Lord in the Bible. When looking back, he didn't, but it seemed like he did at the time. You know, like he knew a lot
I
more
was
than
bold
I did.
about the little bit I did.
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I just thought, man, Lord, I want to marry him, But that's as far as it went. And so we ended up going on this mission trip.
Well, I was at that stage, those few months, I was in the opposite. I came from such a sinful lifestyle, and the ladies were my weakness in my other life.
Right.
And I had this, it was really religion. I had this religious spirit about not letting any kind of, relationship with a girl take me down. Because it did such a mother path.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was so religious about me. I had my dad was telling me, do you see this girl close in your life? My brother was telling me, my mom was telling me, everyone was talking about Amanda.
Right.
I was like,
And you're afraid
absolutely
she was the
not.
devil.
Oh, yeah, I was just, religious West, thinking I was going to be godly.
Yeah.
And blind to the whole gift of God right in front of me the whole time.
Right, totally. That's so funny. So you guys got engaged on a mission trip?
Yeah, so
So we're not going to call that romantic?
Absolutely, no.
Absolutely.
It was for me. It was super romantic for me.
So it's a week-long mission trip in Mexico, and we were there, and the very first night we were in worship, just kind of setting the pace of what we were going to do that week and everything, and that was it. I was in the front of the room, he was back with the guys in the back, and I didn't think it was anything special, and then we were walking back to our rooms that night, and he comes up to me and just kind of grabs me, which is awkward anyway for him, and then he looks at me and said, Amanda, we're getting married. That's it.
Ask and you shall receive.
And so then
It worked, almost 11 years later, it worked.
Yeah, and so then I thought, what in the
We're
world?
getting
This is awkward.
married.
And I thought, man, he was just in the presence of the Lord. He's totally changing his mind in our mind. Like, this is awkward for him and me.
Yeah.
So I just brushed it off and thought, I'm not going to tell anyone because he's probably going to change his mind by morning. I'm going to make this easy on him.
Yeah.
And so I didn't tell anyone. And we went down to breakfast the next morning. And I'm sitting at the girls' table, and he comes over, and he goes, well, did she tell you? To everyone at the table, and I was like, no. And well, we got engaged last night. So then everybody in the, on the team, there was like 40-something people, found out that way. And then, seriously, from then on, he just followed me the whole entire mission trip, staring at me, like awkward.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Now, let's make sure we put it in context. This is a 2 year super tight friendship. So it wasn't just this random girl. I was like, hey, God told me to marry you. We had a very affectionate, deep, godly relationship. And,
But yet you didn't ask her, you informed her.
oh yeah, well,
you know,
yeah. I
tell
mean, the last few months, her attraction to me was made known, and I did the mean religious thing. And I'm in Mexico City. We're at this worship time, and I am worshiping the Lord. I open my eyes, and I get hit with a Cupid arrow. I open my eyes. I see Amanda across the room. She's got her hands like this, and tears coming down. And I get awestruck.
Yeah.
I mean, the lights turned on, conviction hit my heart, and I felt the Lord's, and I don't want to say God told me, but I just felt the Lord speak to me as far
Breathing
as
on it.
you haven't realized the gift of God in your midst at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, but not just that, I allowed myself to say, you know what, she is godly and very beautiful. She's very attractive, and it felt so good to be able to just actually admit that, because all along those 3 months, I wouldn't let any of my friends, pursue her.
Right.
Like I'd see a buddy trying to get up close to her, and be like, hey, she doesn't date. So I had that going on too on the side.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well,
And so I did.
Yeah, that is so good. You guys, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
It's fun.
So you've been married 11 years.
11 years this June.
Unbelievable. And how many kids?
We have 2, Macy and Owen.
Oh, and can we hear them in the distance? Yeah, that's your kids in the distance.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're having fun.
Screaming and having fun.
Well, thanks you guys for telling your story, being real, and we just had a great time.
Yeah.
And also,
Pod Queen.
I apologize.
And the Pod Queen's husband in the distance, just making it real. Love you, honey.